No one expected Among Us to be as successful as it has, but over the last couple of weeks, it's risen to the top of Steam.
Yeah, I think it's Kazoo.
What? Why?
I don't know, you're just hella sus. You're just sus, and I don't like you.
The game came out in 2018 and was pretty much dead until this year when a few content creators gave it a chance, and then suddenly, oh my god, it's everywhere! Now with countless memes, videos being posted, and viewers on Twitch, it's a resounding success. On a surface level, it can be hard to fathom as this isn't the first game of its kind. So why is Among Us so successful while these other ones have never appealed to the mainstream like this has? Trouble in Terrace Town is a game I hold dear in my heart. It wasn't the most polished experience, and every server only used this single Minecraft map. But working out who was secretly the traitor was a thrilling investigation that had you worried everyone was out to get you. It's a far different experience to the rest. You're only really gonna shoot someone if you've seen them commit a terrible atrocity, instead of just guessing, which does play down the investigation portion. Playing as the traitor was even more thrilling, picking your moments to strike when your victim was alone, hiding the body so no one can find it, and having your last stand once you were caught. It was one of the first of its kind and saw a good amount of success, but never as much as Among Us. So why is this? Number 1, the game has to be easy to pick up and play. Trouble in Terrace Town isn't something anyone can just hop in and play easily. For starters, it's not even a full game. It's a game mode for Gary's mod. This isn't a problem for people well versed in the Gmod scene, but for the typical mainstream player, when you have to open a different game, download workshop assets, and find a good server, that's when things become off-putting. If you want your game to become extremely popular, it has to be extremely accessible. Number 2, your game has to be simple to understand. Town of Salem has the same core experience as Among Us, even having the same flash game aesthetic. The key difference being that in Town of Salem, you can't just be a murderer or an innocent. There are a lot of roles in this game, and by a lot, I mean a whole 33. I mean, that is just way too many roles. The teams are split up into Town, Mafia, and Neutral, but the combination of roles? I mean, it's anyone's guess. It's a town's job to get rid of every murdering class or vice versa. So with this many roles, that can happen an endless amount of ways. You have the Mafia who kills, the veteran who kills trespassers, the jailer who can interrogate someone, the jester who wants to be killed. There are too many to name, but with so many roles who all do different things, it is no surprise the Town of Salem never reached the mainstream appeal of Among Us. It's a hard sell for new players, and its lack of simplicity intimidates most, but appeals to those looking for that more competitive experience. Number 3, the game has to keep the player engaged. Push the Button is a game that you may have never heard of that comes packaged with Jackbox 6. The crew must figure out who the 2 aliens are by performing tasks where aliens get the wrong prompt. The tricky part is aliens can hack themselves or hack others, which really turns the game into a difficult guessing game where anyone can lie their way out of a situation. Not too different from Among Us. Both games even have a space theme. So why is this popular, and why did this get pretty much forgotten? Well, despite the fact it's tucked deep in a Jackbox pack, if the ship captain hasn't chosen you for a task, it's hard to find yourself staying engaged in the game. And if you're not an alien, the game can really slow down. It's a game with high highs and low lows. It never really hits the same level of suspense that Among Us does. It has its moments, but when you compare the two, it's no contest. So as a whole, these games are really just...
Dude, can you just talk about Among Us already? You're acting kinda sus.
Nuh-uh, I was in electrical. Among Us, on the other hand, achieved all 3 of these, which allowed it to climb to mainstream success. Firstly, the game is very easy to play. It's a simplified flash game that's a quick install and is dirt cheap, which makes it a low-risk investment. And being a flash game also means virtually anyone can run it, even on a phone. Controls are so basic that you can play the game one-handed with just a mouse. Setting up a game is easier. You don't need to add anyone, just slap the code in chat and get your friends in. Just be sure to hide it if you're streaming. It's one of the most accessible games out there, which is why everyone is always down to play it. Any game that allows you to hop in with the snap of a finger is onto something. Number 2, the game is very simple to play. And by simple, I mean so simple you can learn all the basics of the game in one round. It's not hard to figure out. Tasks are more or less self-explanatory. Connect these wires. Got it. Download this. Cool. Swipe card. Swipe card. So good! The game is pretty intuitive. A lot of the skill is determined by how good people are at catching out liars or lying themselves. So even a player who has never experienced the game before has a chance at winning, seeing as the skill is determined by social interaction. Of course, being the imposter is another story.
Right, so Kazoo just kind of admitted he's the imposter.
Oh my god, okay, just kill me and get it over with. I could kill this person here, but stop. Let's quickly think. Was anyone nearby? Did they see me go into this room alone with him? Are people watching on the cameras? Did I remember to turn the stove off? Sometimes it's just better off to live to fight another day. Or in this case, kill. The core game is simple, but there's a lot of nuance you have to master. You have to learn to use vents properly, you have to think of creative alibis. Do you self-report the body or let someone else find it? Among Us is a game that's easy to pick up, but hard to master. That being said, sometimes all you can do is lie through your teeth.
Yeah. Alright, I'm sorry, Kai, mate, you baited yourself out massively.
That was, yeah.
Did somebody say just D? And thirdly, the game keeps you engaged all throughout. In Salem and Push the Button, you didn't have control of a character, and in Trouble in Terrorist Town, there was a lot of downtime that left you disinterested. Among Us could have just had you walking around doing nothing, but the addition of tasks, besides adding another way for the crew members to win, serves to keep the players engaged in the game. Tasks give you constant objectives to complete, so you're not just standing around aimlessly. On top of that, they're satisfying, intuitive, and sometimes can provide you the greatest alibi. Yeah, the greatest alibi that's now wasted. Even when you completed all these tasks, you have the security cameras to keep an eye on the map, making sure the imposter doesn't.
No! I knew it! I knew I saw Callum!
But that's okay. Even when you're dead, playing as a ghost keeps you engaged, letting you finish up some tasks, or perhaps just watching the game play out. TLDR, it's hard to get bored in Among Us. Though getting killed first does suck. That's not to say these 3 reasons are the game's only strengths, and what puts it on the map in the first place. Among Us revolves around these discussions, which adds a lot of tension, because you kind of have this, oh shit, moment when one is called. In TTT, Push the Button, and in some cases Town of Salem, you have social interaction throughout the whole game, but when it comes to Among Us, you have to call a meeting or find a body to unmute and discuss, so you can talk things out in a civilized manner.
It's fucking Kazoo, it's fucking Grolix! I saw Grolix kill him in fucking... I saw Grolix!
It adds drama, and things can quickly get intense. They get extra tricky when you realize imposters can report their own victims, they can sabotage to gain the advantage, and in general, you realize your friends are actually psychopaths. It's great to see such an unrecognized gem suddenly grow into something that's slowly ingraining itself in pop culture. It took a while, but when the game is easy to hop on and play, simple enough that anyone can understand it, and it keeps you engaged throughout, it's no surprise that
Kazoo still hasn't ended the f***ing video. Vote him out. He's suspect.
okay, I give up.